Good morning. This is me, and I am on my holidays, and I am down south in my parents' home. And this is a little bit of an experiment also because I had some feedback from one of my friends, Fiona, who has been listening to my videos and said that the sound quality hasn't been that good and that I should consider possibly getting a fancy YouTuber microphone. However, what I've decided to try today is using the direct record into YouTube as opposed to recording on my iPad and then uploading it, just to see if that makes any difference. So this is going to be short and sweet, and this one's for you, Fiona, really, to see whether the sound works any better. However, it's also an opportunity for me to just check in with myself and with you if you're watching. Being away is really interesting for me. I know that when I am in my home environment, I find it particularly difficult to switch off and take a holiday. Being away is something that helps me to really get out of habits and just look at what I'm actually doing each day and maybe making some more conscious and informed choices. I am absolutely exhausted. You can probably hear from my voice. I think it is that thing of teachers in the holidays, but it's also for me reflecting on a year that has just been phenomenally difficult for all the reasons that all teachers in the UK have been up against, but also for me reflecting on where I've been professionally and personally over the last year, and also being here in my family home, just reflecting as well on sort of some of the bigger things that I have been working on and trying to move on from in terms of growing up with ADHD and not knowing it. My parents trying probably to manage this child that never seemed quite able to switch off, never seemed satisfied with things, was an overachiever. And it's interesting because although it is a sort of a bit of an elephant in the room, in that I find it really hard to talk to them about it. We have had some conversations, and I think we're all coming to terms with sort of an understanding of who I was and who I am now. And also, just now I'm doing a lot of professional reflecting, and it's for me, I'm looking at whether I'm in the right place professionally, whether at the age of 52 I should be looking to expand into broader horizons in terms of what I can offer. I have had some rejections from jobs that I've applied for, and that's been really difficult, but actually, it's fine. Much as getting a rejection is hard, what's hardest for me is a rejection that just says, no, we're sorry, and doesn't give me any explanation. And I actually realise now that as somebody that recruits, I don't do that. I always make a phone call to whoever and say, this is the reason you didn't get the job, and I'm honest. And that's what I find difficult, is rejections where I then have to guess what about me it was that was wrong or didn't fit. And at the moment, I think I'm thinking it's because I'm too honest, because I talk a lot about my ADHD. But how can I not do that? How can I work in a world of education and inclusion where I'm encouraging other people to be honest, where I'm encouraging children to understand themselves? If I can't be honest, and if maybe that world doesn't want me, then much as that's hard to accept, then perhaps I need to look at another way. Honesty and truth, and well, obviously always subjective truth, because it's the truth as I see it. I have that constant thing that if there's something I'm doing wrong, I wish people would tell me. If I'm annoying, if I'm not what I think I am, I wish people would tell me, rather than, an email that says, sorry, on this occasion you don't fit. But then I get that, because actually, yeah, I get it. And I'm coming back all the time to this thing about political awareness and needing to play the game. I'm reading Jacinda Ardern's biography at the moment, which I'm finding interesting. I'm not enjoying it at all. I'm on about the third chapter, and it doesn't really give me any sense of her as a person. perhaps that's what I don't know. I'm hoping it will get better, and that I'll get a sense of her as a person, because actually my belief is that we need leaders to be people. And I think she is, because I've read, I've seen the memes and the quotes and the things that she said. And I hope this biography is going to stop doing this thing it does, which keeps saying she wasn't cool, but she wasn't uncool. And saying that, there was nothing about her that the media could dig up. And I just really, really want to believe that she is the person that we see her being, because that will just be brilliant. Anyway, that's interesting. And the final thing today is I'm just absolutely delighted about Ed Sheeran, because I adore Ed Sheeran, and I hate the fact that he comes in for criticism. I hate the fact that, he was dragged through the courts because he'd possibly stolen someone's tune. Isn't it possible? If you think about the Monkees and the Shakespeare and the typewriters, isn't it possible that two people thought of a similar tune and it wasn't about either of them stealing from the other? It's, do you know what, we can both produce a fantastic tune, and that's okay, because we're not always in competition. So I'm really delighted for Ed Sheeran today. And that's it for now, and I'm stopping. And if this 6 minutes hasn't recorded properly and the sound is terrible, then I'll go back and buy a fancy microphone, or maybe I won't, because I'm not actually a YouTuber, just me. So yeah, I'm off to do a bit of work, because I'm on a training course today for work, which is fine, even though it's the holidays. And then my girl's coming on the train tonight, and we're going to be all of us together, and that's just so exciting. Although, of course, we have to still say fingers crossed, COVID, train strikes, post-Brexit, post-COVID, in COVID still, all those things. So I'm just desperately hoping that my girl gets here tonight, that we get to be a family of four, and that we get to spend some lovely time with my mum and dad and my brother and his family later in the week, because that's what matters. Okay, take care, stay well, love you lots. Bye for now.